Origi!
Hello and welcome to the Liverpool Way podcast. It's the night after the Reds did it again, leaving it late before eventually coming away with the 3 points at Burnley to maintain their 100% start of the season and regain top spot in the table. I'm Dave Usher, editor at liverpoolway.co.uk, and I'm joined for this one by Ian Brown. Alright then, Brownie, another one that was never in doubt.
It took the words out of my mouth. I was going to say never in doubt. And do you know what, to be fair, I'm only half joking on that, because I spent like the whole of the second half watching it with my missus, and she was getting frustrated, you know, like lack of creativity and everything, all the stuff that you know, I was kind of getting frustrated at, but I knew we were going to score. I just knew we were. Just what we do now, innit? Like
I did say, like, another stoppage time winner's coming. I did put that in the chat at the time.
I knew it was going to happen. Like, obviously, you get that late, and you do start getting those little thoughts in your head that, like, but no, I was relaxed. I normally get really, really irate, and I'm screaming at the telly, you know, especially when the wingers aren't having a great game. I mean, we can get on to how Burnley set up, which is understandable. You know, anything I say about Burnley today, I don't want anyone jumping on it and going, what do you expect? I fully expect and understand why they've done that. I'm not an idiot, you know what I mean? I understand the game. I know why they did it. They're basically allowing us to have the ball out wide and then hoping that our wide players have an off day. And to a degree they did, didn't they? I mean, Mo especially.
To a massive degree, I'd say.
Yeah, I don't think Gakpo was that bad. I mean, we can get on and talk about both of them, but I don't think he was that bad. At one point, I was really frustrated with him because he was doing that same thing, you know, where, like, you talk about it a lot, don't you, with him being a bit of a one-trick pony. He's always wanting to come inside, invert, and then get that curling shot off. But the moment I started getting frustrated, I think I wrote in the chat on one thing he did in particular, you know, fuck off, what are you doing kind of thing. He then started taking Walker on the outside and beating him on the outside, so I had less of a problem with him because he at least showed a little bit of variety in his game.
He went straight back to it though, after he'd done that. He just went back to cutting in again straight after.
Yeah, he wasn't effective with what he did, but at least he was trying different things. I couldn't even explain to you what Mo was trying to do after time.
Killing our
Everything he tried just fucking didn't happen. Even those little outside of the right foot things that he does, and, you know, he's always got something in his locker where you know he's going to do. He was slicing everything, just like straight out of play or straight to the goalie, and you're like thinking, I would have took him off, and I know that in hindsight that would have been wrong, and I understand the argument to say you've got to keep him on because he can do anything. But at the end of the day, he scored a penalty. You know what I mean?
Would it have been wrong?
What, do you want a fucking cookie?
Because
you know what I mean?
Somebody else could have scored the penalty. So
yeah, I agree.
I don't think you can use that as justification for, well, that's why you keep him on, because somebody else could have scored a penalty. Dom could have been on the pens. McAllister was off, so it would have probably been Dom, I'd imagine.
If he scored a boss goal, you know, a proper Mo Salah signature goal, then you have to put your hands up, don't you, and go, yeah, fair enough, that's why you keep him on. I think that is the point. But we have to have a conversation about that, I think. I don't want to start it by doing that, but at some point we need to talk about what we do with Mo when he's not effective, because we have to have another option. We can't just keep wheeling that out, you know what I mean? Especially when he's, for his standards, he started this season slowly. Like, usually he started on fire, and then you get to like after Christmas when he starts slowing down. But this time
he's in end of season form now.
Yeah, right from the start, which it is a concern. I'm not like jumping on some kind of bandwagon here. I'm just simply pointing out what I'm watching him, you know, with my own eyes. And we know that he's a volume player. He always has been. He's never been tidy. I don't know if that's the right word, but he's never been consistent with everything that he does. He needs volume. But at the moment, he doesn't even seem to be getting a lot of volume. It's just, not clicking for him. But in terms of the game, I liked how we kept going. I liked the changes he made. You look at it at the end, especially after the red card. He's just done what fucking Ferguson used to do years ago for the Manx, and he's just throwing everybody on the pitch. And I know some people don't like that because they think, well, there's no plan to it. But I think there is a plan to it. When you're coming up against a team who are just sitting on the edge of the box, you may as well have a load of attackers on, because it's more bodies in the box and something might fall to an attacking player who can put it in the back of the net. So I have no problem with that.
Well, on that note, I wanted to point this out. I've got this written down in my notes, but like the substitutions. So it's easy to say, oh, they went down to 10 men, so he sent on Frimpong and Ingamo. They were already coming on.
Yeah,
they were both coming on before that. They were waiting to come on as the sending off happened. Now, he may have changed his mind on who he was bringing off, which goes back to the point about Mo. It's possible, highly unlikely, but it's possible that Mo might have been coming off for Frimpong at that point. And then you go down to 10 men and you think, oh, well, no, we'll just get Konate off. We don't need that. I don't think that's the case. I think he probably does that change anyway, Konate coming off, because they just weren't even trying to counter-attack. Or if they did, they counter-attack with two players. You know, like if they got a break, it'd be like whoever had the ball and maybe one other player running through the middle. It's not like they were throwing men forward to try to counter-attack.
Well, we were that far. We were so high up the pitch, and even in the first half, whenever
they got the counter,
to run
on a counter-attack.
It was a 2v2 because we just basically left our centre-halves back. We were letting both. We don't tend to do this, do we? Or we haven't done under slot, where we've had a situation where both full-backs are just bombing on. It tends to be one. If the attack's going down the right-hand side, then the other full-back tucks in and covers, and we almost play like a back three. But the way the pattern of the game, they almost were like, fuck that, there's no point. They were both just going and leaving two at the back.
I think
there is that as well.
Relatively speaking, when I say shit, what I mean is they're two players who Virgil and Konate would be looking at and going, no, we'll deal with that. Yeah,
I don't need any cover.
We will deal with that.
I don't need me six. Yeah,
and because there was only really two of them. Occasionally you might get a third one, but it's not like they were throwing. Like, compare that with Bournemouth. When Bournemouth got a chance to counter-attack and they just had five fucking sprinting at us, and it was like, oh shit, that was never ever going to happen there. Like, they were just not doing that. The intent wasn't there for them to try to counter-attack.
They had no interest in doing it. They had zero interest.
So it does make sense in that regard to just keep putting attacking players on. Sometimes they get in each other's way, and that, you know, we've seen that. It doesn't always work. But in a situation like that, the way that game was, you needed somebody to just do something out the ordinary. And it was actually Rio did it, and it was unlucky like that. Frimpong couldn't finish it off. But what we saw there from Rio in that one little moment, Gakpo never done that at any point during the game. And that's my argument there about Gakpo, is like,
he'd a shot and
I need more. I need more from him. Now, that being said, I agree that he was like nowhere near as ineffective as Mo was. But in a game like that, when a team's playing like that, I mean, I think it was either you or Stu had put it in the chat. I think it was Stu, because it's a drum that he's always banging. Is like, in games like that, it's like, well, it's up to your front three. You know, I need you to be doing stuff. You know, the game's set up the way we want it to set up. We're controlling the game. We're moving the ball around, and then with a packed penalty area like that, you're relying on a bit of magic, somebody to do something. And that was the issue for me. I mean, Ekitike never got into the game really, other than one nice little run.
I think it's less about the front three, isn't that? Honestly, I think it's very hard for the nine in that situation, because so many bodies are central. I think it is more about the two wingers. They're the ones who've got to do something. That's why I'm focusing on the wingers.
It also comes down to what type of player your nine is as well. Like, if it's someone who wants to drop off, get on the ball, drift out wide, try to get 1v1 with people, which is things that Ekitike, you know, he does like to do. We've seen that. And the one time when he did do it,
didn't he? First half, when he skinned someone and put it across, and nobody made the run.
That was an absolute fucking disgrace. The way that everyone was just hanging back. I'm like, no, this is basic stuff. Somebody has got to make that run, because they're so deep. You're not worried about being offside. You just run in. You've got to tap in from like a yard out, and everybody was hanging back. That stuff like that's frustrating, because you don't get too many of those chances in games like this. And you know, Ekitike's done everything right there. He's put a great ball right across the box. Not even across the box, basically like a fucking yard out, right across. And no one's even. Sometimes, like, you go, okay, he's almost got there. He just couldn't reach it. You know, someone will come in and stretch, and it just goes past them. There was nobody within 6 yards of it. They were all so far, like, deep.
They were just watching. Yeah, just almost like ball watching. You know, and you would expect at least one player to be busting the gut and making that run. And then if others are hanging back, then you've covered all the zones, haven't you? So wherever it goes, you've got a player. So,
and it's not even an excuse that, oh, well, it's your centre-forward who's putting the cross in, so the centre-forward would be there. No, somebody else has got to recognise that. You know, you know your number 9's not in the box, so someone else should be making that run.
Especially when you think about what we've seen from Ekitike, like when he's in that kind of space, so that half space on the left, and he's got a defender 1v1. We've seen time and again he goes past him with a bit of skill.
Yeah.
So you've got to be alive to it. You've got to think, hang on, who's the player? He's
yeah.
1v1 and go in and read it, but they were just watching a little bit. So yeah, that was a bit disappointing, that one.
Yeah, I mean, that was one of the few like highlights of the first half, really. There wasn't much, was there?
No.
I think Kanate's getting a bit of stick for the header he missed. I don't think he could do anything about that. He's being held down and he's so close to the goal, he can't get over the ball.
I think it's a bit behind him. It's a little bit potentially high. I think the angle and everything, that's not a sitter. I mean, it looks on the stat sheet like a sitter because it's a yard out. Do you know what? In fact, I want to ask you, what do you reckon the XG was on that? Because I had a look at it before.
It should be really low because I don't think there's any way he can score. Just based on what you said there.
Interesting.
You know, it is a little bit behind him. He can't get above the ball. Like, the only way you're heading that in the goal is if you get above the ball and you can head it, not even necessarily just downwards, but low enough that it goes underneath the crossbar. His whole body position, he couldn't do any more than what he did.
He almost needed to have been 5 yards further back and running onto it to have any chance. Like, the problem was he was already there and he's waiting for the ball. He's having to try and readjust his body.
He's being held down as well. No, I'm not saying it's a foul, but he can't jump.
No, it's good defending. Yeah, that's what he's supposed to do.
He can't jump at all. All he can do is what he did. I don't even think it's really a chance.
Yeah, so the XG on that was 0.49. So basically half a goal.
Bollocks.
Just for that. But that's just because of, if you're looking at it on a piece of paper, it's a yard out. And he's got his head to it, so he should have scored.
And
so
it
takes away the context of all these
no
things that we're talking about.
Yeah.
So that really is an interesting one for me, because I've always gone on about XG and saying that it can be a useful tool, but without context it means nothing. Like, and that's just a perfect example.
Burnley's XG, I was expecting it to be 0, and it wasn't, and I don't know why it wasn't.
0.13.
What was the...
They had something off a set piece, which was 0.02. They had a... Can you remember the one on the break where that is it Jaden Anthony? Is that his name? He had a shot which went over. That was one good break they had early on in the game. That was 0.1. So that was basically it, really. It's the only thing they had. A couple of speculative things, and then that one decent break where they shot over the box. That was it.
I mean, there's no way he's scoring from there. So I don't even see that as... Yeah.
It's 0.1. You know what I mean? It's what like 10 in 100, you know what I mean? It's not going to happen. So they, in terms of like the touches in the opposition box, I go on about this one a lot, because like certainly when you look at it from the coach's side, your job really is to get your team onto the edge of the box or into the box as much as you can, and then it's over to the quality of the players that you've got in your front three. Yeah. They had 2 touches in our box in the game. We had 56 in their box.
I see, and Ngomoa had more touches in their box than the whole day.
Than they did, and he was on for about 10 minutes.
He came on in like 86 minutes or something.
Yeah, fucking nuts. But he was really good, wasn't he? Like, the point I liked about the example you gave was, like, how easy would it have been for him there, where he's come inside onto his strong foot, to do what Gakpo does and just hit the shot even when it's crowded. He picked the pass out really well.
Yeah.
He's ready, isn't he? Like, he 100% is ready to be getting more minutes.
Games like
I
that,
think he's shown it already.
Games like that, I'm giving him half an hour. I'm never mind 5 minutes at the end. In a game like that against a team who's doing what they're doing, and you need a spark, something unpredictable, someone who's going to do something a bit different. I want him on the pitch in that situation. I'm not saying I'd be starting games, because I think he's too young for that. You've got to be careful physically and all that. You don't want to take unnecessary risks. I mean, you've seen that with Yamal this week. Like, what Spain... That's exactly what I'm talking about. Like, overplaying young lads. I mean, what Spain did with him is an absolute fucking disgrace. I mean, Barcelona play him all the time, so they're not like exactly innocent in this, but...
they're entitled to, though, aren't they? You know what I mean?
Played 65 minutes and then had a painkiller, and he played him in the next match again.
He played on painkillers in both of them, apparently, and then he broke down afterwards.
Irresponsible. It's so irresponsible. But with Rio, you've just handled him carefully, but that doesn't mean wrap him in cotton wool and not play him at all. And in games like that, I want him on the pitch like half an hour to go. I'm not saying you need him for the full game, because there'll be a lot of games like that where we'll play against a team that's done what Burnley have done, and we score after 10 minutes, and it totally just changes the game. Yeah. It's only the fact like that it went on as long as it did without a score, and that's when it's like, okay, we're going to need to do something different. It's getting a bit edgy, and you maybe start snatching at chances and stuff. When it gets like that, I want him on the pitch, because we saw, he got 5 minutes plus stoppage time. That one moment when he dribbles into the box, lifts his head up and picks out. It's not even like that it's an obvious pass that he's played, because look how many people are in between him and Frimpong. It's basically everyone on the pitch is between, because Frimpong's the furthest player right and he's the furthest player left. Everyone else is between them. But he saw, like, it's not the widest passing lane either, but he saw like that there's an opening to get that pass. He executed the pass perfectly, and Frimpong really, I think he should have took a better first touch, like, and got his shot away quicker. But
yeah, I was going to ask you about that. I thought he should have hit it first time.
That's another argument. He could have hit it first time.
I thought just hit it first time, because that's when. I mean, how many times do you see a first time finish catches a goalkeeper out, doesn't it? Yeah. Because they're expecting them to take.
Players don't want to do it though.
I don't get it, mate.
It's a dying art.
Mate, you want to wear me with my lads in training, like the amount of, that's all we talk about with them is like, get your shot off as soon as you can. Don't take unnecessary touches, because it allows covering defenders to come across, allows the goalkeeper to get set. The quicker you finish, the more chance you've got of scoring. It's just simple as that. But I thought the timing of the pass was great as well, because he's come inside onto his right foot. Naturally, everybody squeezes inwards because they're worried about him shooting. So they all just go in, and that's what opened up the space for Frimpong. Like, a really, really good play, like clever play as well. Because he's got a little bit of a reputation of just being a bit of a like step over merchant, and you know what I mean? Like, literally just run at people, do all this stuff. But I've already seen 2 or 3 bits where you're like, no, he's got more to his game.
Yeah,
he's definitely got more.
He's really that is noticeable from pre-season that he's a different player, because I watched a fair bit of him, like the 21s and the 18s and that, and it just flattered to deceive a lot. You could see like the ability that he had, and he could go past people, but the decision making, and it just I thought he's not ready for that. But as soon as like the pre-season started and you watched him, then it's like, oh, okay, he's doing different stuff now that he wasn't doing. And I've mentioned this, I don't know if I mentioned it on the pod, I've definitely mentioned it in the diary a couple of times. I think it was the pre-season game, so Bilbao will be in that game. And Jay Spearing was working for the LFC TV, and obviously Jay's like the under-21s assistant coach, isn't he? So he was working with him a lot, and he said like, he's doing stuff now, and as coaches we're looking at it and going, this is great, this is what we've been drumming into him, and we're actually seeing it now. Like, so the thing that he was talking about mostly was, so the goal against Newcastle, that's exactly what the coaches have been saying to him. It's like, when the ball's on that side of the pitch, you need to get in. Don't be hanging like wide on the edge of the box. You've got to get in there on the back post. And he started doing that, and they're like, it's great when you see players, like, young players doing what the coaches have been like drumming into them and saying, look, this is what we need you to do. And then you see them doing it. So he started doing like stuff like that, and his finishing wasn't great either, but like even that. So he scored a goal in pre-season. It was one, and it wasn't the Bilbao game. It was the game before that when he scored. I can't remember who it was against. It might have been. I think it was a Japanese team, wasn't it? Yeah, it was a Japanese team. Yeah. And everyone's going on, oh, what a great goal! Look, he's ran from the halfway line, and yeah, it was good, but that should never have beaten the goalkeeper. It wasn't in the corner. It was just terrible from the goalkeeper. And I'm like, yeah, he scored, and good for him and all that, but I'm not like blown away by that finish. The next game, he does the exact same thing, but the shot goes right in the corner.
Yeah,
and I'm like, okay, yeah, now that's a fucking goal. That's like, that's impressive. So, and then obviously like the composure for the Newcastle goal as well was, that was to keep a cool head in that situation. Is
to hit that one first time and the way he did, like so many people would have stuck a touch. Fucking amazing.
I know. Well, we spoke about that. Like, one of the players had said, I would have took a touch, and I said it was Mo. I think you said you thought it was be Gakpo, didn't you?
I thought Gakpo because he always does it. He always sets himself and then bang.
Most players take a touch though. That's what I'm saying. Like the whole first time finish just seems to be like it's a dying
because
art.
It's hard to do. It is hard to do. Like so when I'm talking to my lads about it, I say I don't expect you every single time to get it right because it's a difficult skill when the ball's coming across you because it depends on the spin on the ball.
Yeah.
You know, the weight's really important. There's different variables. They like to take a touch because they're in control of that touch, which allows them to then know what they're doing with the next one. So I get that. But no, if you just keep doing it, you're going to find that the goalies aren't set, and you will, I think, net out with more goals by doing it that way. But
I feel like it's just the safety net of like wanting to take a touch just to be sure. And as soon as you do that, you're inviting a block.
Yeah,
and a team like Burnley, that's what they do. You know, their defensive record last year is not an accident. You know, they're good at doing that, getting bodies in front of the ball, blocking shots and stuff, and they did it loads of times today. And that's why, as you say, you know, you've got to get the shot away early before they can do that.
Snapshots, all about that now. But I think we're in agreement, aren't we, that Rio should probably get some more minutes, depending on the opposition and how the game's going. I think he needs to be more of an option, I think,
more than 5
earlier.
minutes at the end of a game.
Yeah,
I think he's already shown he should be getting more than that. But, you know, like I've said all along, you can't be looking at him to be replacing the minutes that you were getting from Diaz. It's stupid to do that. You know, you've got to be careful. And they are being careful, but there does come a point where you're like, you know what, give him 15, give him 20, not 5.
Yeah, I think that's fine. I think that's getting the balance right.
It's reaching a point where it's going to be hard not to. If he's getting 5 minutes and he's doing what he's doing, it's like, okay, he needs to get a bit more playing time. Like so.
Well, everyone's excited about him, and rightly so. You know,
it's not like
going back to your point earlier though
about
the kind of fitness thing, and he's mentioned Yamal. I mean, I always just think about Michael Owen. You know what I mean? Because you think about what he was like. And he got overplayed, didn't he? That's
definitely broken.
You look at his career just nosedived. Never recovered after that kind of hamstring injury, did he? I mean, he was still a really good player after that, but he wasn't the same.
It took something away from him, and then he also ended up getting a lot of other injuries further down the line, which all of it you can say is probably a direct result of overplaying him at a young age.
Yeah,
and Stefan Bajcetic is another one. Like, look what's happened with him.
I mean, the sports science is better now, isn't it? Like, so you've got the staff, the number of people you've got working in the different departments now just dwarfs what it used to. Even to the point where just normal fans like us, we're familiar of all the terms that they use, like the red zone and all that kind of stuff, aren't we? So
whereas if you go back to when like Michael Owen was playing, if Michael Owen was left out and they were saying, we're being careful, everyone would be going, what are you doing that for? He's only 17. He's as fit as a fiddle. You don't need to rest him. When I was 17, I used to be able to play footy till all hours. That's what you were dealing with back then. That was the mentality. Whereas like people are a lot more clued up about it now.
It was just a sign of the times, though. It's not like you know. I'd have thought that at the time.
Yeah,
like,
I know.
What are you doing? This is crazy. Like
now,
you just don't have
more
the knowledge,
educated about it. But the flip
absolutely.
side to it as well is the game now. It's the intensity is so much more. So even though you've got sports science people and they're more aware of stuff like that, you still look. Even the training sessions are so intense. Like that's probably what's done for Bajcetic was like. Not just the games he played, because he had a run in the team, he was playing fairly regularly, but it's also the training sessions and that. And if your body's still growing and developing, and Jayden Dan's another one, starts training with the first team, then he's got back issues and he's out for like 6 months with it. This is the risk that you're running. So you do have to be careful with them, but at the same time, you're looking at it and going, games like that, you need them on the pitch.
Yeah, I agree. Like,
now, how many more games like that do you think we'll have, though? Cause
No, I was just about to say, I'm not advocating him getting loads of minutes on Wednesday, for instance, because you're coming up against the horrible team. You know, the streetwise, they're going to know how to deal with a young lad. It's not the kind of game you would expect him to have an impact in. He could, because he's got the ability, but it's not one you'd expect. I think you have to select and be careful with what ones you put him in for. But having said that, he got picked over Chiesa, didn't he, in the Champions League squad? So there's an argument to say that he needs to use him, really. If he's picked him over in the start, then he does need to get minutes. So
no, that's true. Otherwise, it's kind of I don't want to go as far as to say it's a waste of a spot, but
well, it kind of is, because at the moment, whilst to do it, I mean, we need to. This will be a nice segue on talking about Isak, I guess, because I was going to say, while we're talking about minutes for players and stuff, I wanted to get your take on him not being involved at all. I get it all, he's doing his pre-season and that, but when it comes to the Champions League, I mean, at the moment, Chiesa is our backup number 9. Ekitike can't play 90 minutes, he's consistently. So in terms of the Champions League, Isak's going to have to be involved on Wednesday, otherwise who else is who's playing up front? Who's giving us the 20 minutes or whatever?
My thoughts on it are it's completely over my head. It's too complicated for me. I don't understand it. I don't understand like the reasoning behind why couldn't you have brought him on for 10 or 15 minutes today? Why is he not capable of doing that?
Have you seen his presser?
I've read some of the quotes. He said something about he could play 45 minutes against Atletico or something. And I'm like,
well, he specifically
was he training on Sunday? Was he doing he away from the squad and he was doing proper training?
Yes, he did a heavy session. Yeah, instead they basically said that they believe the best way to build him up is to give him a pre-season. So they're giving him loads of heavy sessions in the background, and his body then is only able to do a certain amount of minutes whilst he's doing that load in training. He said, and he acknowledged Slot. He said another way of doing it would be I'd give him 10 minutes today, and then I'd give him 15 minutes on Wednesday, and then I'd give him 20 minutes next week. But he said we don't believe that that's the way to get him ready for the season when we're going to have 3 games in a week. He won't be able to do it. He said he has to do it this way, and we're thinking more medium to long term than just the short term. The way he explained it, as he often does, Slot, he speaks very well, doesn't he? And he clearly knows what he's talking about. And you might go into it thinking one thing and then afterwards go, all right, yeah, fair enough. And that's how it was with me last night. I listened to what he said and thought, fair play, I get it.
See, that's what I'm saying. It's over my head. It's I'm not going to sit here and go, they're wrong and they should be doing this, they should be doing that. Because I'm not qualified to be talking about stuff like that.
No, if they think fans, that, aren't we?
If he can't play because they've got him, it was sort of like what they did with Chiesa at the start of last season. He was sort of saying similar stuff there. Was he's not considered to be part of the squad because he's doing such a heavy load in training because we're trying to get him up to speed. It's not that he couldn't have played 10 minutes and come on and done stuff, because let's face it, we could have really done with Isak coming on. I know it all worked out well in the end, but it's a risk not doing that.
I don't think there'll have been any Red watching the game yesterday who didn't think, fucking hell, it would have been nice to have had him on in the last 10 minutes when we're trying to find a goal. That's only natural, innit? But,
it's not like you'd have had to do any running either.
It's the short-term thing now, innit?
It's just go and stand in a box and do something for us, because it wouldn't have been...
Yeah, but Slot's not... When they're making the decision
they don't know
to be back at the training ground, exactly, they're thinking we could win that game 4-0. And I'm not being funny, we get an early goal in that, and we probably do go on and win it handsomely. You know how it is, there's fine margins at that level. But no, it'll be interesting to see how we use him in the next few games. So, because he, like you alluded to there, he did say something about he could play 45 minutes on Wednesday or Saturday, but if he plays 45 on Wednesday, don't expect to see a lot of him on Saturday. I think saying different things that.
If he plays against Atletico, I wouldn't even have an issue if he's not in the squad against Everton and Chiesa's back in the squad to come on for
I want him to play against Everton.
So obviously I'd want him to, but if they think if they don't want to play him twice in a week, they want to because they'd rather him have extra training sessions, and if that's what they think, I'm not going to be kicking off and saying, he should. So
I'm saying I want to hold him back to the Everton game. I'm not saying he should play both. I'm I would hold him back, but my previous point then kicks in of who's given us the cover
because there's no Chiesa
when we haven't picked him. Exactly.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It'll be interesting to see what happens, but we've gone off on one here. Let's go back and talk about. So one thing about the first half where we mentioned not a lot happened. What did you make of the challenge on Maka?
I think he's very lucky not to get a red card for it. I understand the reason why it wasn't, because they'll say it was low, it wasn't high, but it ticked every other box in terms of excessive force.
Yeah.
His other foot swings around quite wildly as well. It looks like a bit of a wild challenge, and he does catch him on or slightly above the ankle. I think he's. I'm not saying it's a Stonewall red card, but I think he's quite lucky that he didn't get a red for that.
Yeah. I thought, I haven't watched it back a lot. So at the time, I was like, ooh, that's red. Because you just get a natural instinct, don't you? You know what I mean? Without having seen it properly.
It's the excessive force and like the way he went in. You know, the aggression.
That's red.
Yeah.
And then the replay came on and I went, it's probably yellow. But then I watched another 10 replays throughout the day and went, no, I think it's probably red. So what the fuck does that net at?
That's how I was.
Orange.
The first replay, I'm like, oh, okay. And then the second replay, I'm like, oh, no, that is actually, yeah. It depends on which side you're looking at it. So I've got no issue with Michael Oliver not pulling out a red card. No problem at all there, because I do think referees have to err on the side of caution a little bit, unless it's really obvious. And so you pull out the yellow, and if it is worse than you think, then it's down to VAR to say, actually, go and have another look at that. Let's be honest,
if you were the if we're being honest here, because we've said a lot of the time with referees, it's like human nature in the decisions they make and the beef they have and all that kind of stuff. You'd always do the yellow there, wouldn't you? Unless you were 100% certain.
Yeah, absolutely.
You'd just go yellow, and you'd be like, let them deal with it.
Because the bigger issue is
if you do the red and then it goes back to a yellow,
exactly.
That looks worse on you.
So I even said, with the Tarkovsky one last season, my issue wasn't with the referee on the pitch. Because I understand why a ref on the pitch is, because in the back of your mind you think, I'm going to give a yellow, and if it's worse than that, they'll tell me, go and have a look.
Yeah.
So they do that, but then you've got the fucking gimp in Stockley Park is like, oh, well, it's a high bar and that doesn't meet the high bar and we're not going to call him to the screen. And then, so it doesn't work because of that. And then every now and again you get someone who's called the Fulham one, the Fulham Chelsea one, where he gets called to the screen for no reason whatsoever. And the referee just feels under pressure thinking, I'm going to have to go with what they're telling me. But no problem with Michael Oliver not giving a red card for that today. But I do think he's lucky, because if he had given a red card, it wasn't getting overturned.
Yeah.
There's no way it's getting overturned. The problem you've got is you've got Paul Tierney on VAR, and he's not going to say, yeah, that's a red card. Paul Tierney probably wouldn't have given the penalty. If Oliver hadn't given the pen, Paul Tierney probably wouldn't have.
I know. He's got the game next week as well, hasn't he? I read today. That'll be funny. But no, just to be clear though, I don't have a massive problem with it not being a red, even from the VAR. I don't think it's clear cut. You know what I mean? It's one of them where you can argue either way, and in that case, I don't mind going with the on-field decision. You know what I mean? We don't want to get into this one where it's like, it was 51% that, 49 that, so that means it should be that. No, fuck off.
I agree.
We've had enough of all that crap, haven't we? But I mean, one point to make with it is he clearly fucking was injured, wasn't he? And I know that they'd said he went off a little bit to do with his minutes and the building him back up, but he was fucking hobbling about as well. He had a knock. So yeah, it was a bit naughty in that sense.
I think that played a part in him going off. I agree.
Also, with the big other thing that happened in the first half was Kirkes. What did you make of the... the dive was shocking on it. Let's just be clear and call that out. That was just fucking stupid. I don't know.
So I haven't actually got any issue with any of it other than him diving. That was stupid. Everything else, the referee's decision, and then, it is a booking. No problem at all with that. Then he gives a free kick against them, which I don't think it was a foul, and it wasn't. What had happened seconds before on Mo. You give a free kick against Mo when Mo was getting...
Scandalous.
Mo was basically having done to him similar to what Kirkes was doing, except the one on Mo was clearly a foul. He didn't give that. He gave a foul against Mo, and then seconds later the ball goes up the pitch and he gives the foul against Kirkes. Now, that foul it's never going to be a second yellow card, so there's no issue with that, but it's the totting up process, isn't it? And the crowd are all baying for it and that. And I thought, watching it back, Kirkes' reaction when he was subbed, I think he deserves a lot of credit for that, because he's obviously a bit humiliated and a bit pissed off, But he handled it like the right way. He shook hands with Robbo. He shook hands with Slot. He listened to what Slot said to him, and he didn't make any issue. And you could see Slot was gesturing like to the crowd, saying, they're like baying for blood and it's putting pressure on the referee. And then Kirkes just went to the bench and just shook everyone's hands and sat down. I thought, you know what, you've took that like a pro.
Really good point. I thought he almost nodded.
I think he understood. It's like,
I think he got it.
Because you in these days with 5 subs, a situation like that, you're stupid not to do it, because all it's going to take is him to make one missed time tackle that's not necessarily even yellow card worthy, but the crowd's baying for it, the other team's players are baying for it. You got a referee who is a little bit of a fucking law unto himself at times. Why risk it when you've got Robbo on the bench?
I loved how Dutch Slot was after the game as well, when he got asked about it, and he just basically said, I couldn't be certain that Milos wouldn't go diving into a tackle, so I kind of have to just take him off. You know what I mean?
Because let's face it,
can you word it a little bit different, Anna?
Diving in is what he does. Not even just diving into tackles, but flying in for headers that you think, no, stand off. You don't need to go. Yeah. You don't need to go and win every ball. But that's his mindset, and that's one of the things I really like about him.
I suppose we shouldn't be surprised that he got fucking a yellow card for diving then, should we, as well, when you think about it?
No, it was the issue I've got with the dive was it was shit. He didn't sell it very well, because he's technically he's right, and he said to Slot, I felt an arm in my back, and there is an arm in his back. It's not enough to push him over by any means.
I didn't even see that, I only watched it twice, but I thought it was terrible.
I can't sit here and try to make it out to be something that it isn't when you've got Konate just running around shoving people in the back all the time and getting away with it. It's not a foul in any way. There is, he does lean on, his arm leans on Kirkes' back, and as soon as he feels that, he must think, oh, here we go, it's a shove in the back, I can go down. But it's not a shove in the back, it's just contact, but it's not any sort of force behind it.
I'll have to watch that back, because honestly, the replay I saw, and as I say, I think I only saw it once or twice, I saw zero contact.
No, it's a slight. Contact is the word. It's not a shove or anything like that. There's contact. He sort of touches him as he runs past, and that's enough for him to think, oh, I'm going down. And it's a terrible dive. It's a good decision to book him. It's a good decision to take him off, and he took it like a champ. So I think
it's all worked out well.
Yeah, I've got no issue.
And by the way, I thought Robbo was fucking brilliant when he came on.
It's good for Robbo to be getting playing time, and I think moving forward now, we were playing twice a week. I think there should be rotation. Yeah. One of them plays one game, the other one plays the next game, and I'd also do similar on the other side now that both of the right backs are fit.
I'm slightly different with it, mate. I think Robbo should be first choice, and Kirkes should be bedded in slowly, almost a bit like how Robbo started off.
Yeah, and I just don't think that's going to happen. There's an argument for it
either, but that's what I would do. I think that because he's like an understudy, and he clearly hugely respects Robbo. We watched him a lot as he's coming through, all that kind of stuff. I think it's a perfect situation to do that. And one thing I liked about Robbo, just one moment in the second half, was the Chiesa chance. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That kind of situation, you need to have different ways to open them up, because it was very difficult to do it with quick passing. So sometimes it's just about picking out a good ball. And that was a great cross that. He should have scored that fit as well. Really,
he should, but it's one of them. He'd only just come on the pitch, and
cold.
Comes at him fairly quick, and he just didn't react quite quickly enough. I didn't really have a problem with that. If he'd been on the pitch 10-15 minutes, and maybe he does a better job with the finish, but it wasn't an easy chance. You just think he should do a bit better than that.
He was fuming with himself, wasn't he?
Yeah.
See his reaction to it.
Yeah. But I mean, with Robbo, he come on, and within about 30 seconds, he'd had our first shot on target. He's meg someone on the edge of the box.
And then the outside of the foot shot.
And it's we hadn't even had a shot, I don't think, on target up to that point. But no, Robbo was good, and good to see him getting decent minutes, not just a few minutes at the end and that. So, I think Robbo should start against Atletico Madrid. If he doesn't start that, he should start the derby. He definitely starts one of the next 2 games. And then, what do you think on the other side though? Do you keep Dom there for now?
No.
I don't either. But I suppose it's a bit easy at the moment because Curtis is injured and we don't know Macca's situation. If all of the midfield players are fit, there might be a case for keeping Dom at right back for now. It solves the problem.
But I want Connor in the team, getting a run of games, getting that kind of experience and the consistency, and just nailing down the position. That's what I want. I know obviously Frimpong's back now as well, so you can talk about whether you want to rotate them too. I don't know.
I would
For me,
absolutely
Connor
rotate
needs
them
to be
just because
Connor needs to be
injured.
first choice. He will get. I know he will, but I'm hoping, and it might be naive, that if he can get past his injuries and get a run, that he's fucking brilliant, Connor. Like, it's dead easy to sometimes forget some of the performances you get from certain players, when they go through little spells and they're picking up injuries. And think about that Chelsea game when he broke through. Like, that's his level. That's how good he is. And we need to get him in the team. He needs to be getting minutes. He needs that consistency of selection to be able to show what he can do. So that's what I want. And for me, Frimpong will be the backup player. Dom, we need to talk about Dom now, because we've had plenty of times on here where we've fucking destroyed him. Me and you in particular. I know he's your boy now.
No,
I'm not going to roll
no
back
problem.
like
if you want to talk about my boy, let's talk about
that.
him.
You're never going to hear me say that. But no, he's honestly like.
He's good again, wasn't
surprised.
he? I thought he was in both positions, by the way. He was good.
I can't believe what I'm seeing from him. Like, I think he's just stepped up massively. Like, because he's always had the kind of physical prowess almost, Danny, to be able to run all over the pitch, but he's showing loads of different parts to his game.
He's shooting now as well.
Parts.
He's not just deferring to other people. I like this new shoot on sight policy.
Yeah, but he's doing it with, like, meaning as well, isn't he? Like, that shot he had, okay, you want your goalkeeper to save it, but fucking hell, there was some power on that. When you watch the replay, it was just a little bit central. If that's a couple of yards to the left of the goal, he's not getting that.
If it's a couple of yards to the left, it's goal of the season.
Oh,
just
mate,
the power on the strike. Just hits such a clean ball, doesn't he?
I'm made up with him. I'm absolutely made up with him, considering he's going out and playing out of position, and then last year he's playing as a 10. So this year, really, you look at it, he's played right back, he's played as the 8. I think he might have even been dropping in as playing as a 6 at certain points in games. He's like proper all action all over the pitch, and it feels like he's stepping up a little bit and taking more responsibility, which is what I always wanted from him. Because it's never been about ability. Never been about ability. You can clearly see the ability he's got. I don't know whether you probably don't watch the warm-up. I don't watch the warm-up a lot when I go to game, but it depends, because if I'm with me lad, he sometimes wants to go and watch it. So when you watch the warm-up, some of the stuff that Dom does, like, he's got all the ability in the world. Honestly, he can do what he wants on a footy pitch.
Well, you see it in the training videos.
It's just about having the confidence. Yeah, it's just him having the confidence and feeling almost like, I don't know, he's captain, isn't he, for Hungary?
Yeah.
He's playing like a captain, is how I would say it, for us at the start of the season. Now, I hope it carries on, because I don't want it to be, just a bit of a purple patch. This is his level, and he needs to keep it up, because he's a massive
I'm not worried
asset
about
to the
that.
team.
I don't think it's a purple patch. I just see my issue with him, same as yours really, but the big issue for me was because of the position he was playing in. I can't have that. I can't have those, not taking responsibility with taking on a shot or playing the right pass, just deferring to Mo all of the time. I can't have that. You're playing as the number 10, and often you're basically like a second striker. He was so far forward. I need more. I can't have you doing that. Now you can do those things when you're playing deeper, because it's down to other people to do that then.
Yeah,
and I think that suits him. Playing the expectations of him doing these things are a bit less when he's playing midfield, and then you appreciate what he does then. I'm not appreciating that stuff when he's doing it as a 10. I'm like, it's great that you're running around a lot, but you're playing as a number 10.
That's not what you're in the team to do. You're there to score goals,
exactly.
create goals.
But then when he's playing as the 8, all of that stuff's a lot more valuable. And then, he's playing at right back, and he's been absolutely faultless at right back. Defensively, I don't think anyone's got the better of him. He's defended really well. He's used the ball really well. Can't ask for any more from him. And it goes back to pre-season, like I said it before, but him and Rio were our two best players in pre-season. He was our best player. Rio got all the headlines, and, deservedly so. But Dom was our best player in pre-season, playing as an 8.
The 8 is just perfect for him, for everything that you just said. Because you think about our midfield, like we play basically a 6, an 8 and a 10, don't we? That's how it is. That's how fluid it is. And it's perfect for him because, as you say, he can do bits defensively and he can do bits attacking. But when you're the 10, it's not about bits. It's about like major contribution.
Well, that's what we need to talk about Vert as well, don't we?
Yeah. Do you know what?
I think he's really close. The second half, I thought he did some things in that second half. I'm like, yeah, I can see it starting to come together.
I thought there
now.
was a step. I think there was a big step in the right direction for me. Like you can see, like traditionally, you speak about these players coming from different leagues, and there's a bit of a cliche about, you've got to, give them a year and all this. And some players you need to give them a year. Some players just come in and just do it straight away. There isn't like. It's not like a scientific thing, you know what I mean? It's an art form. It depends. There's so many variables involved that it just depends. But I do think he falls into the category where he was never going to do it straight away. I think he needed to figure some things out.
In hindsight,
no, I didn't. I said on the predictions, didn't I? Because everyone was saying he's going to get Player of the Year, and I said he's not. I said I think he's going to be fine, but he's going to take time. So for me, this is going exactly how I thought it would go, that he's going to need to be figuring things out. But I mean, he's got a high football IQ. You can see it every time the football's anywhere near him. Like, you can see he's a clever footballer. And he just needs to figure some things out. And I think I agree with you, seeing signs that he's starting to figure things out. I mean, considering the fucking game that he was playing in there, where there's just no space and there's bodies all over the place, and you're thinking, they're the games where it's difficult to find little pockets and do bits.
But they're the games we've signed him for, though. That's what he's been brought in to break, help us break down these type of teams. That was the whole reason for signing a player like that.
I don't think it's just that. I think it's also because he's a number 10 who works his ass off. You have some number 10s who are a little bit lazy, less so in the modern game because you can't get away with it. But you do have some who don't run as much as him. I mean, his running is unbelievable when you watch him. Like, sometimes I think somebody made a point in the media about telling him to slow down. Who said that?
It was Gary Neville.
Something.
Gary Neville said, stop moving, stand still and wait for the ball to come to you. He said he's moving around, he never stops. But sometimes they're not getting the ball to him. He said, just find some space and stand still and get the ball.
There is actually an art form in finding space by not moving it then. Yeah. Like, you see it with strikers where you'll see that they've got no one anywhere around them, and you wonder how's that happened, and you'd expect that they've done some mad thing, where they've like jinxed to go one way and then gone the other.
Have you forgotten who you're talking to? That was me.
The guy who never moved.
I didn't have to move because I'd find space.
But no, honestly, sometimes when
you're telling me it's an art form, fucking right.
I'm talking about the elite level here, Dave. I'm not talking about fucking Thursday nights.
That knee injury.
Yeah, back in the day. But no, do you know what I mean? Sometimes you'll see a striker or even a 10 who scored a goal and you think they must have done something mad, and then you watch the replay and they didn't. Yeah. And sometimes you get commentators trying to say, look at what he's done. It's like, well, actually, no, he didn't do anything because he didn't need to do anything, and he recognised that he didn't need to do anything. That in itself is a skill. And I do think there is something to that. I mean, I hate the fact that it's fucking Gary Neville who said it, to be honest, but I do think there's something to be said for that.
I thought it was an interesting point when he said it, to be fair.
It is. And going back to Dom, compare Dom as the 10 to Wirtz as the 10. Dom always found the space.
Yeah.
How many times was Dom in a really good position and then he gave up the responsibility, and you're thinking, fucking hell, mate, you found the space, now I want you to do something with it. Yeah. Wirtz is actually struggling to find the same space that Dom did. For me, that's quite fascinating.
Or when he finds the space, we're not getting him the ball.
That's possibly.
Another argument. But I felt like it was close. I could see in the second half, it's definitely getting closer. Because he did some really nice things in the second half of that game, but because of the way the game goes, and we didn't get the goal until right at the end, and he was off the pitch by that point, the good things that he does kind of don't really count for anything and are easily forgotten. But now I feel like he's getting really close, and I think maybe one of the next 2 games we might see him really do something special.
Yeah, I agree. It's only gonna go one way for me. I'm waiting for the moment, that signature kind of moment, because big signings have it, don't they? I know it's there. It's in the back of my mind, thinking last minute kind of pops up, does something, because that happens, doesn't it? There's a knack of that happening with your big signings, where you're waiting for the moment, and then once it happens, you have lift off, and then you're just flying. So
do you know what, on that note, one of the most underrated moments in history was Nicky Barmby's goal against Everton at Anfield. The fucking header from about from the corner of the box, and they'd been chanting "Die, die, Nicky, die" all the whole game, and he scored at that end in front of them. It's not spoken about enough. That was just such a great moment.
Mad, yeah, it was great. I was at that game, fucking hell, soaking, wasn't I? If I remember, pissed down all night.
I don't remember the weather. I was at the game. I remember the goal, but you're asking a bit much. Asking me to remember the fucking weather.
And you've done well to remember the fucking goal, haven't you, to be fair. Yeah, I know. Yeah. What else in the game?
So
Alisson, I thought he was shit. I didn't fucking kick, did he? I've had anything to do.
He won't have an easy game.
Can we talk about Grav? I can't believe I fucking let that slip by. Grav was fucking outrageous at times in the game.
You don't think he meant that little flick though, do you?
No. Do you know, at first I thought he did, and then I saw the replay of it from I think it was from our crowd, straight down the line, and no, he wants to play a little pass inside, and then he realises the lad's marked, and then he wants to control it, and it all happens dead quick, and it just pops up. I wanna believe, like anything, trust me, that he's flicked it round the corner like fucking Ronaldinho or something, but I don't think he did. But some of the other stuff he did, like you know, he's got them trademark moves anyway. Yeah. If you press him and you get too tight to him, he's just gonna make you look stupid. He just
glides away from people,
time and again.
Little shimmies of the body, just
the thing
quality.
that separates him now from other sixes is that it's the ability to just get away from you. If he wants to just burst through a little gap, you ain't getting him. He just strides through it, doesn't he? And I just love watching him play footy when he's like that. Like, I thought he was fucking brilliant, absolutely brilliant.
I think he meant it, but I wouldn't swear to it. But see, the only reason why I think maybe he didn't is purely because it's drummed into our players, like, don't be losing the ball in those areas. Like, you know, Dom will have got a fucking bollocking for the Bournemouth, the back heel, because Slot called him out publicly on that. So, you know, he'll definitely have, like, give him a roasting, like, privately. So, it's such a risky thing to be doing that, like, to the point where you can call it showboating. That makes me think.
Showboat. If he meant that, would he really do that?
Yeah, it's like, would he really be doing that, knowing that our players are told don't lose the ball in those areas, because that's the only way a team like Burnley is going to hurt us is if we do something like that. So that the chance that I say chance, it wasn't really a chance, but the one that you were talking about in the first half, I remember it now because it came from Virgil, just sloppy pass past it. Yeah. The ball came to Virgil, and instead of just like taking the touch and moving it on, he tried to play a first time ball into midfield and played it straight to one of their players, and the shot comes from that. That was the only way they were going to have any hope of doing anything, was if we did something stupid and they could capitalise on it. So for Gravenberch to be trying something like that, if that doesn't come off and he loses the ball, he's getting a massive bollocking for something like that. So that's the only thing that makes me think, did he really mean that? It looks like he meant it, but I don't know, just purely because I don't know if you would attempt something like that in that position. It's different when you're 3 or 4-0 up, but I don't know. But it looks like he meant it.
Looked amazing though, didn't it? Regardless of
and if I'm him, I'm definitely saying I meant it.
Oh, you're definitely claiming it. Yeah, of course I did, yeah, no doubt. But it is funny going back to what you said there, like, if he means it and it comes off, then we absolutely love it and we're paying over it. And if it costs us a goal, we fucking want to kill him, don't we?
Yeah.
Like, it's the whole hypocrisy of it all. It's quite funny, like. But no, I thought he was just fucking brilliant. I thought the midfield just looked quite balanced. I mean, Maka, you can tell Maka's not fully up to speed, can't you? I mean, it doesn't help that he's fucking flying all over the world whenever he goes on international
duty. He's always ropey at first game back after internationals.
Yeah. So he's the one who needs to worry a little bit about what we spoke about before, about Dom moving back into midfield. Maka's probably the one who misses out, but not for long. I mean, you're talking about just rotating really good players.
Well, so like this week, for example, you've got 2 really big games. You're not going to play, like, say for example, say Mac is fully fit and available for the Atletico game, and he doesn't play. So you go with I'm going to play Grav and I'm going to play Dom in there as the 2. You would then change that for the derby. and Maka would come in for one of them. So
I'd do it the other way down. Though,
well, yeah, but the point is, you're going to rotate those three players for those two positions. Now, 100%. Curtis is the one who's going to have a little bit of a problem. He's injured at the moment anyway, but he's going to find minutes harder to come by than the other three. It's going to be them three mainly rotating, and then Curtis is going to come in and play some games, but probably not as many as the others.
Play every game, is he? So we're probably not going to play as much of a 4-2-3-1, because we've kind of changed a little bit, haven't we? From 4-3-3 to 4-2-3-1, and having a really dedicated 10. So I think there'll be games where he's got to have a breather. So there'll be games where we just go back to doing the 3, and it might be Dom who goes in there again. Or why don't they put Maka there?
Yeah, I know.
He played there for Brighton, and on the back of that we signed him. So why can he not play as a 10? Yeah. I've wondered that, to be honest. For 2 years.
I would rather Maka play there than Dom.
I would 100%. So we might see that. Could potentially. Could you even in some games could you have Isak up top and Ekitike behind him?
I think so, yeah. Because I did mention that over the summer when we were talking about maybe the plan is that they will play together at times. And I think Adam Clary did his video on how Isak fits in. I think he mentioned that as a possibility as well, didn't he?
I mean, Ekitike's shown he definitely can drop off and get on the ball, and he's not somebody you're worried about losing it necessarily if he's got it. You know what I mean? I think he definitely could do a job there. Because I know the game's changed and all that, but you often used to have when you had 4-4-2 and you had the two strikers. It was split strikers, wasn't it? One would drop deep, and that there's no reason why that couldn't work. I mean, they can both do it. To be fair. Isak can also drop deep to get the ball as well. I think it would make more sense to have Ekitike doing that and have Isak just playing as the 9. But I like the idea of how fluid it could be, and it'd be a nightmare for teams to play against that as well. Yeah.
Now it's how do you fit the rest of the players around it? That's where the issue is you're still playing your 2 wide players as well as that, or are you going a bit narrower in midfield, or I don't know, but I do think there may be a plan for that.
I'd love to see what we've just said, but then Wirtz on the left, so Gakpo missing out. So you've got Wirtz left, you've got Hugo in behind
4-4-2 kind of.
Yeah, but what you'd have is loads of rotation going on, because Wirtz would be starting on the left, but he'd be coming inside all the time. We know Ekitike likes to drift out to the left, so you'd be getting them rotating naturally. So Wirtz would almost be popping up in the 10 anyway, but would probably find a bit more space because he's swapping over with Hugo and you've got that rotation thing going on. That's how you find space, by doing that. So I'd love to see that. I think it's worth it. In a certain game where, the team's just going to come and sit in a little bit yesterday.
That's the key to it, really. And I keep saying this, but football's just like chess now. It's just not the way it was at all, where you just put your best team out and let them worry about you. It still be certain teams who play a specific way that Slot will already have it in his head. When we play against this team, I'm going to do this. Yeah. And it won't necessarily be what we normally do or what we'd be expecting him to do. And it may well be there's certain games where he's already thinking, I'm going to play Ekitike and Isak against this team because they do this.
Yeah.
So, it's styles make fights, isn't it? That's definitely going to be part of it, I think, rather than you just say, well, we're going to play this system and we're going to do that all the time. I don't think we'll see that. I do think we will mix things up more.
Yeah, and that's the right way to do it as well. Because
You've got to do that now.
We heard Slot say a lot last year in his interviews where he prepared the team for the opponent to play in a certain way, and then they were totally different on the day.
Yeah.
So he's got to be mindful of even what he saw last year might not be the same. They could change up again, so you've almost got to try and second guess them, which is difficult. You can't predict what they're going to do.
It's getting more and more like the NFL, flexible. Really.
You'd know more about that. You always got into more of the play calling side.
But it's so complicated,
that's why I didn't bother.
They're doing this, and we need to do that, and then the halftime adjustments and all that stuff. It's getting more and more like that.
I don't like that, if I'm honest.
No, neither do I.
I like it to be a little bit more off the
focus now.
Yeah.
Because
sometimes you just come up against a team and all you need to do... I mean, talking about fucking Alex Ferguson again, but didn't he once say to United when they were playing Spurs. Lads, it's fucking Spurs.
Yeah.
And that's all he said to them. And he just went out and fucking battered them all over the place. Like, sometimes that's all you need to do. Like, you just...
I think teams still do that now when it comes to Spurs.
Well, it's Spurs, yeah. and ironically, Man United.
Yeah. Yeah,
fucking hell. Love it.
What else do I want to talk about? Burnley's fans. Now,
mate.
just it's this fucking, and it's a copycat league. Like, fans all one set of fans start doing something and then others copy it. But this Premier League corrupt as fuck. Every time a decision goes against it, it's a fucking joke. It's absolutely just pathetic. I mean, they were singing that in the first half after their lad got away with the red card tackle on Maka.
Yeah.
They were actually singing that because Maka didn't go off for treatment. But
they were booing Maka as well.
The referee, the rules are, if it's a yellow card, the player doesn't have to go off.
Yeah.
So Maka didn't have to go off because it was a yellow card. If the game gets stopped for an injury, the player has to go off. Normally, don't they? Well, yeah, but it was stupid rule or not, that's the rule. Michael Oliver's done it by the book. That's what he's supposed to do. And then the fucking hillbillies are singing Premier League corrupt as fuck. It's like, come on, really? And after the sending off, I think it was, like, late on, it was it was after the penalty. It was after, like, which, I mean, that's a penalty in every league in the world, every referee in the world. It's a penalty. And the lad himself, as soon as he done it, he looked to the referee as if to say, no, please, no, because he fucking knew. So I want to talk about him in a minute, by the way, but the point is, after that, the camera goes on like the crowd, and there's two fellas, not together, there's like one's on the row behind, but they're both late 60s, early 70s, I'd say, and they're both singing Premier League corrupt as fuck, and I'm like, seriously, you're old enough to know better. This is just, it's staggering. Like, I know we're all biased towards our teams and stuff, but this is just, it's a load of fucking shite now. Anytime, like, a team that's not in the top six gets a fucking decision given against them, they're out with that chant, and it's fucking pathetic. And I blame Everton. They fucking started it. This is all down to them. And Forest, the fucking scabs.
Yeah, they are bad. Oh yeah, fucking hell, fuck them. They're all bad bellends, basically. And I'm getting less frustrated though about all that as I get older. It's kind of washing over me a little bit. I'm like, I almost just laugh at it. Like, for them to be booing Maka when you actually look at the tackle, like, what are we doing here? Seriously, what are we doing? Like,
it's you know what it is?
It's a lack of self-awareness.
Do you know the best one ever for that? Do you remember Stoke when I think it was Aaron Ramsey, fucking Shawcross broke Aaron Ramsey's leg.
Broke his leg, yeah. Booing him.
And the next year, when Arsenal came back and Aaron Ramsey was there, they were booing Aaron Ramsey.
Yeah. I mean,
and I'm like, that's next level. That is just
it's tribalism, innit? It's like all that fucking nationalism bullshit that's unfortunately coming to the fore now.
Which is also like
people have
prevalent in Stoke and Burnley.
Exactly, yeah. But that's it in football form, basically. That's what you see from these like small town clubs, that they've just fucking completely lost the plot. They're clearly not happy with their lives, so they decide that, right, we're just going to fucking blame it on somebody else and just fucking invent a load of shit. That's what they're doing. Like, it's happening socially, and it happens in football. Yeah, it does me fucking head in. It's just fucking stupid. People just need to be better. Simple as that.
Yeah, not going to happen though. It's getting worse.
No, it's only going one way, innit? Unfortunately, you can see that. Fucking nightmare.
Anything else I've got on my notes? I'll tell you something else that was pissing me off as well. And I'd forgotten about this from like the last time he was in the Premier League. Fucking Scotty Parker and his fucking Adidas one stripe too many clobber that he's always wearing. It fucking winds me up. I've got a total irrational like hatred of it. It bothers me when I see him with his fucking 4 stripes on his jacket or his suit jacket and that. It just bothers me, and his face bothers me.
I hate him. He's just got that World War II pilot fucking look to him, and everybody was always going on about, oh, fucking good old Scotty Parker. Fuck off, get in.
Remember when I think it was was Stuart Pearce, wasn't it? Remember, he was like caretaker manager for England.
Did he make him captain?
He made him captain over Gerrard. Yeah.
Yeah, that was it. Yeah.
Fucking hell.
Fuck off. Getting a bit. I thought we'd seen the back of this come when we beat them 9-0 at Anfield, to be honest, and then he's fucking popping up again.
Was actually going to mention that because I think that's
probably why he set up the way
exactly.
he did.
Yeah,
I mentioned that to my missus like last night when
I do think that's
they were
part
just
of it.
parking the bus. He's obviously got the old scar tissue going on. He tried to be a bit brave on the day, and got their asses handed to them. We weren't even very good that year either. So yeah, I think he knew, didn't he?
Yeah, but I think in terms of the way they played, I had absolutely no issue with them doing what they did in terms of how they defended, getting everyone behind
do you know
the ball.
what? I want to make
the
a point
issue
on
I had
that.
was that they didn't even try to counter-attack. When
I want to make a point on that in general because, I mean, I've heard so much stuff about how we were lucky, and just fuck off. Like, we were not lucky.
Lucky would have been if they'd hung on and got a point. That's lucky.
I'm telling you, don't get me wrong, could we have been more creative and inventive around the box? Yeah. Could we had a bit more of a threat? Yeah, all that kind of stuff, yeah. But to call that luck, it's just fucking nonsense. People are doing that either because it goes back to what we just spoke about with the tribalism, where you're just blinded so much by your bias that you can't objectively look at a game of football and judge it on its merits. That was not luck. All opposition fans, and especially our rivals watching that, knew what was coming. They knew what was coming, and they were frustrated that it happened again, that they just revert to this nonsense.
I think the way it happened as well, to be fair, that's why, it is a penalty.
Yeah, but
you would look at it and go, you spawny bastards, to get a penalty like that, dickhead putting his arm up. So I do get why people say that. I've got no issue with the luck argument. My issue is people saying about Burnley not getting what they deserved.
Yeah,
that's the problem. I was like,
no, that as well. Yeah.
If they'd have got a point, they would have been lucky to have got a point. Now they did defend really well. I'm not disputing that. But if put it this way, all the other teams who we'll play, whether it's Leeds or Sunderland, other newly promoted teams, I guarantee that when we play them, they may well try to defend the way Burnley have defended, but any time they've got chances to break, they will try to break and try to do something. And I just thought Burnley had no intention to even try to do anything at all. They were just hoping for a 0-0.
That's their right, and my point on that though is, it is your right, but then by just inviting the other team to keep coming to the edge of your box,
don't
be surprised that you're going to lose 1-0.
Exactly.
Because something's going to happen. That's the point. We kept just waltzing to the edge of the box without them even trying to stop us. And their game plan was basically, right, lads, for 90 minutes, we're just going to throw everything at the ball and defend the box, and hopefully it'll come off. Now, there's nothing clever about that. You could tell a team to do that. I could tell a team to do that. It doesn't make you a good fucking coach to say, they're better than us, so we're just going to close all the gaps, funnel the ball out wide, and then we're going to hope we defend our box well. Now, that's not to say it isn't a game plan that is logical. I get it, I understand it, but don't come at me crying that you didn't get something that you deserved, because you didn't put enough into the game to deserve it. That's the point, innit? You made the good example of the Bournemouth one. When fucking Semenyo scored that goal, they were defending deep. They had loads of players back, but they had that intention to hurt us once the ball got turned over. And that's for me, that's how it should be.
Yeah.
I hate it when
the
teams
best team
just
last
don't
year
even
were Forest, weren't they?
Yeah,
they were so good.
They did
defending like
a
that,
number on us at
breaking
Anfield
when
in
they
that
could
game.
break. So they did exactly what Burnley do, except they were just waiting for opportunities. They were defending like that, but it's also a way of attacking for them, because they're waiting for the moment when you lose the ball and they can spring and attack. Burnley were just defending and not even trying to do that. Yeah,
I mean, the Forest one last year.
Burnley were like Homer Simpson against Drederick Tatum, just standing there, just getting punched repeatedly, without throwing anything back. You can't do that. We're not going to just get tired and then you can just push us over. That's not how it works.
I mean, just while we were talking about the Forest one, they actually did do what Burnley did, but the only difference was they had a couple of pacey players who they then brought on at the end of the game. So their game plan was right, we will have a go for 15 minutes, but Burnley had no intention at any point to have a go. They just wanted to sit in there and frustrate us. And again, to repeat myself, that's fine, no problem, but don't complain when you lose the game 1-0.
Yeah.
Because you can make an argument that, and I've said this to John, I know the lad who did the handball hadn't been on the pitch long, but it's fucking tiring, you know, doing them like shuttle runs when the ball's constantly moving from side to side, and you're having to just mentally as much as physically, it's draining when another team's on the edge of your box constantly, because you're scanning over your shoulder, you're looking for all different things, there's movement going on all over the place. Like, don't be surprised if you make a mental mistake as well when that's going on, because that's just what the pressure does to you.
Well, that lad will have been tired just from running around kicking people, because that's all he does when he plays against us.
Yeah.
That's his.
Well,
that's
he used
his
to,
whole
he used to
identity.
play for the Banks, didn't he?
Yeah. Well, remember he came on, and I think like it was the 5-0 game, and he came on and just ran round, just fucking booting our players. Yeah. And Neville afterwards singled him out for praise, like about, you know, that's what I want to see. At least he showed some fight. At least he cares. He's a fucking donkey.
Yeah.
That's all he does. He runs around just fucking booting people, and he did it again today. First thing he did when he came on was just left the foot in late on someone. So just the irony that it was him that gave away the penalty, just stupidly putting his arm up like that. I mean, but again, you know, you see dickheads on Twitter going on about like, oh, referee sending off a Burnley player and then giving them a penalty, just trying to help Liverpool out, and it's like, fuck off.
Just judge it on what the actual decisions are, rather than your fucking stupid bias. Yeah. Like, because if you are like literally saying neither of those things should have happened, then just get the fuck out. Like, nobody's going to listen to you because you're just fucking stupid. Simple as that. We all have our bias, don't we? We all get frustrated by certain things. But you've got to have an element of objectivity about you.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Don't be a tit. Yeah, we can be a bit of a tit, because we all are, but don't be that much of a tit. Come on. Fucking hell. Can we just have that conversation about Mo? Because we started with it, but we didn't finish it really. What do you think about him coming off the pitch, and who comes on for him? What would you like to see going forward? Let's assume this week. Let's say everything he's trying on Wednesday's not working, and on Saturday's not working. Like, don't get me wrong, wouldn't surprise me at all if he fucking comes out of this week with 5 goals. You know what I mean? Because that's the player we're talking about here. But just, you know, humour me for a second. Let's assume he carries on the way he started the season. What are you just leaving him on regardless?
It's tricky for multiple reasons, but not least because there's nobody who will look at and go, yeah, put him on there, because, you know, you've got Rio, but most of his work is on the left. We've not really seen him playing on the right. In theory, I don't see any reason why he couldn't do that. So that could be an option. Frimpong seems to be the other option, but that doesn't do it for me. Like, as an attacking
really
right back,
don't like that, do you?
No, I don't like
really
that. I've never liked it. It's, you know, and you know,
Yeah.
I'll tell you what I'll go back to as a good example of this. Just because you've got like a right back who's a good attacking right back, that doesn't mean he should play on the wing. And it goes back to Vegard Hegem. I remember people saying, "Oh, Vegard Hegem, play him on the wing, play him on the wing." I'm like, no, he's not. That's why would you do that? I would rather have an actual winger who's going to get you. He's got, you know, back then it wasn't so much about goals; it was more like, you know, creativity and stuff. But I want a specialist. I don't want someone who's like Glenn Johnson was another one. People said, Glenn Johnson should play further forward because he's better attacking than defending. Like, yeah, but that doesn't mean he should play as a winger. He's a good attacking fullback. That's what he is. It's a whole different ball game
as well, you know. I'm sure we had that with Steve Finnan.
Yeah, and
because he was similar.
I've never been on board with that. I don't want like a fullback pushed forward just because he can do it. Risa was another one, but like Risa actually did all right because the way the team played back then. If Risa played left wing, he actually did a decent job there. There wasn't really that much difference between him playing there or playing fullback. But generally
feels
speaking,
like
I'm not in
a shithouse move
of it.
to me.
It does.
It feels like a shithouse move, and I've been burnt with that and scarred in the past, which is probably wrong because the game's moved on, and you know sometimes it can be a tactical thing. It doesn't have to be a negative thing, but I have that in the back of my mind. I don't like it.
No,
we've done it in the past. Like, I'm sure we've done it in the last few years. Who've we played in the front frame? We didn't like even Harvey on the right.
Conor Bradley
right
played there. He started the League Cup final there against Chelsea, but we had a massive injuries.
That was different. Yeah. Even but the Harvey's the one I'm thinking of because he was not really a winger, was he, Harvey? You know what I mean? He didn't have the pace to play there. I liked him deeper, get him on the ball, get him dictating the game, all that kind of stuff. So that felt like almost a bit of a way out. And that, Chiesa, is Chiesa an option now that? Isak's in, and
Probably.
they move him away from the 9. He just did a bit of a holding job while we were waiting to get the striker.
Well, that was like the intent, wasn't it? It was like he's cover for Mo, so yeah, maybe
I'm thinking possibly that.
And you're only looking at
he looks sharper, I think, Fede now. Like he does look sharper.
But the only issue with him is it's blatantly obvious, and this is also just like, you know, we've heard this from like people who are well connected and stuff, that he cannot play any length of time. It's just the fitness aspect, and I don't understand it, because he's been here a year training. You'd think he would be able to play 90 minutes, but the evidence is there.
He had an ACL, didn't he? And,
I know, but he also played the full season after that. He played like most games for Juve in his final season.
Yeah, it's a different,
and he did all right.
Intensity, mate. Different.
Yeah, but even so, you would have thought, like, the amount of time he's been here training, you'd think he'd be up to playing starting games, and he clearly isn't. That's not to say he's not good. If he's on the pitch, I always think he's going to score. If
what I like about him is he wants to score a goal, doesn't he?
He comes on and he has the header. Okay, he didn't score, but he is a chance magnet. Things just come to him around the box. So I always fancy him to score when he's on the pitch. The issue is that he's not on the pitch for very long because he's not fit enough.
Do you know what with Fede? It actually goes back to what we spoke about earlier with the first-time finishes. He's one player who will do it. I mean, you look at his one against Bournemouth, you know. Yeah. So awkward dropping down there. You'd be forgiven for taking a touch there, but he didn't. He just instinct bang goal. So I want to see more of him on the pitch.
So that does tie in then, because we're not talking about...
It ties in because he'll only get 20 minutes.
Are we? Yeah, we're talking about if there's games where you're bringing Mo off, well then you're not bringing him off at half time. So you are looking at like, I think that's 15, the way 20, 10 minutes even. So maybe that is the way they do it, but... Taking him off,
I would do it though,
because you know he's capable of doing anything at any point. But when he's not on it, it actually hurts the team, because so many of our attacks just broke down with him. Like,
do you think he's scared to do it? Has that thought entered your head at all? If you're being honest, it has mine. Not scared. That's probably. I think he's reluctant to do it because of noise and different things, which I understand, because, you know, there would be noise around it, depending on how Mo reacts to it, and I think I can guess how he would react to it.
There's got to be a point where
a few times
you think, because it's a long season and he can't play every game, or he probably will start most games, to be fair, but you can't play for 90 minutes in every game. You can't do it. And he is the fittest player in the squad. Despite his age, statistically, he was the fittest player in pre-season when they'd done all the tests. And when you watch him in like the 90th minute of games, he's as fresh as he is in the first. He is an absolute freak. There's no question about that. But you do think eventually something's going to happen where, like, you know, you need to protect him from himself. He wants to play 90 minutes of every game, but that's no good to us if he does a hamstring or something, which he did at the last AFCON.
I'm less bothered about the fitness side of it. For me, it's just, if you're having a really bad game, your status shouldn't matter. And yeah, what you've done is going to give you credit. I understand that, like, definitely. But there's got to be a point. There has to be a point. Do you know what I mean? There has to be a point where you go, no, like, it's just not happening for you at the moment. That doesn't mean you don't love the guy, you don't respect what he's done, you don't rate. It doesn't mean any of them things. It just means that I want my team to score a goal, and, you know, it's not happening for you on the day, so I should be allowed to change the team without there being this big mad thing. So I don't know. I feel a little bit uncomfortable about it, because I think Slot is stuck a little bit. I think he would, if you really asked him, put a gun to his head. I think there's plenty of times in the last year where he'd like to have done it, but there might be different reasons as to why he hasn't done it, and that just makes me feel a little bit uncomfortable, I think.
I don't know.
But
it could just be that he wants him on the pitch because he's likely to do something. And I'm with you in the sense that I don't think the fact that he scored a penalty justifies the argument. See, that's why you don't ever take him off. I don't think, you know, it's different if, like, he produces like a great assist, or, like, you know, a goal in open play or something like that, then that does justify the decision. I don't think him scoring a penalty does. That being said, it's a fucking great penalty.
Yeah, it was.
It really was.
Well, I was going to say, what were you thinking when you put it on the spot? But you
No,
you already knew, didn't you?
I just I tend to not have confidence in him as a general rule these days, but because of the time in the game, I just don't feel like he's going to miss a penalty that's as important as that.
Do you know one thing I would say about him? Yeah,
he's the man for the moment, isn't he?
It's similar point. Like, there's been times in the past where he's had a really bad game, and then we've got a penalty, and my default instinct reaction has been he's gonna miss because he's been shit. But that does not apply to him. It doesn't apply to him. It's not relevant.
He's more likely to miss when things are going well, and he gets cocky and tries a fucking Panenka penalty.
Yeah,
chips it over the bar.
Yeah. Exactly that. Like
he's so mentally strong. It doesn't matter how he's playing.
It's unbelievable because like it'd be so easy to be affected by when you're having a stinker, but he just forgets it. That's what makes him
the most mentally
like
strong player I've ever seen in terms of that. Agree. Makes no difference how he's playing. There's not one part of him ever doubts himself and thinks, "Fucking hell, I'm having a stinker here."
And
he's just like,
by
okay,
saying what
I'll
you've
get
just
it next
said,
time. I'll get it next time. I'll get it next time, and then eventually he'll score.
And that might be the reason why Slot doesn't do it, because he recognises that and he's like,
I think it is, because some players you're like, it's not your day, you're coming off.
Yeah.
I don't think you can say to Mo, it's not your day, because he'd be like, what the fuck do you mean it's not my day? The next chance I get, I'm burying it. Because that's how he thinks. There's never any doubt in his mind. Like,
this is where I'm conflicted with it all, because that makes sense based on this particular player we're talking about.
When you're watching it,
but then the flip side of it also makes sense though, doesn't it? Like, it's logical to take off the player who's having a stinker.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Both of those things are true. So I just wrestle with it in my head. Like, I find it quite difficult.
I feel like he might be just the exception to the rule. Like, most players, they're having a bad game, you're like, yeah, you know what, come off. It's not your day. I just don't think not your day really applies to Mo Salah, because he doesn't understand that. He's got no comprehension of it. Like, he's probably the only player who I can say that about, you know, because sometimes, like, you think players probably want to get brought off. They know, I'm having a fucking shocker here. I can't do anything right. Maybe they don't want the ball anymore. They maybe hide, or they're just looking across to the bench going, am I coming off? He just never has a second's doubt in his head. And I don't know if he's always been like that, or if it's something... I think it's probably something that he's worked on, because he does a lot of meditation, and his whole routine about, like... He's a bit odd. Like, he takes himself off for a few days on holiday on his own, away from everybody, and sits there thinking about, like, what do I want to do this season? What are my goals? How am I going to do it? And, you know, just, like, thinking about everything and running everything through his head. It's not something that everybody does, but that's like something he's developed over the years, and he's so mentally strong. It's fucking ridiculous. I've never seen anybody who doesn't get affected by what's going on the pitch, like how badly things might be going. It doesn't matter to him. He will always keep asking for the ball, and he will believe that the next time I get the ball, I'm going to do something. I'm either going to set up a goal or I'm going to score.
Do you know that was his only shot in the game as well? Fucking mad. When you think about it. Dom had 6. I'm crazy.
6?
Yeah.
And a few of them were decent as well. A few got
the
blocked.
One we spoke about earlier. Oh, Grav's one was good, wasn't it?
Yeah.
The goalie got a touch on that as well, didn't he? Should have been a corner.
And Dom had one with his left foot as well that went just wide. But I like that, because he took responsibility and he took the shot on. That's what I want to see from him. But yeah, it wasn't a great performance, but it was. I don't think it was bad either. It's so difficult in games like that. If the goal doesn't come early, you just know, okay, this is going to be a grind, and you just take the points however you get them. Going into the game, I was like that. I wasn't expecting us to play well. I went into the game thinking, just give me the 3 points. I don't really care how we get it. Just give me the 3 points.
Yeah, it's after the international break. You're never going to turn
and we've
up
not got
play
going
your
yet.
best football.
We're still bedding in new players. You know, there's a lot of reasons why it's not going to be completely fluid yet. So just give me the points, and that's what we've done. We've
I like
won
that
every
we
game.
just kept going. I just like that we kept going and kept going and kept going, and we, you know what I mean. We didn't sometimes you can look at a performance and be like, ran out of ideas, and yeah, okay, could have been more creative, all the stuff that we've said previous, but they didn't show that sign to me that they were like, oh,
they didn't get frustrated.
They didn't do that.
Start
they just
making
kept
desperate
going.
long balls into the box and stuff like that. They didn't do that. They just kept playing. You're right, and
it's a sign of a good team to do that.
I also think
all that jazz.
The more late goals you score, the more likely you are to keep doing it, because it gives you belief and it puts the shit up the other team. And it's like we always used to say about United, like under Ferguson when they were good, and the amount of late goals they got, they called it Fergie time, didn't he? That's because they always thought they were going to win it. Like, and it goes to stoppage time, and they think, right, we'll win this. And the other team's like, oh, fucking hell. You're looking at the board, and if it's any more than like 3 or 4 minutes, you're like, oh, shit, we're in trouble here. Yeah, and that's what
I used
it is
to call
with
them
us now.
All the jammy bastards under
So
the
did
sun.
I.
Me when I
It's
was
only
younger.
when you look back on it and you're like, yeah, actually, you know what? No, it's not.
It's not. It's a mentality thing. It's just winners, isn't it? Winners do that consistently, and you build up a bit of an order, don't you? It's like what you've just said there. Teams like crap themselves when they get into a certain phase of a game. Like, I mean, we're just doing it all the time at the moment.
So
we do need to stop doing that, though. We've like Slot, I think, alluded to all the changes he's done in the squad and everything, whereby he wanted to win games a bit easier. All the players have turned up and gone, nah, we're just going to carry on doing the same stuff, mate. It's quite funny when you think about it.
So 4 games, first game, was it stoppage time or was it 89th?
Yeah, 87, 88, late
so
on.
Basically,
and then we got another late one from Mo, wasn't it?
Wrapped it up. Then Arsenal was like about fucking half an hour into stoppage time.
Newcastle was 100 minutes.
Sorry, that's what I meant. Newcastle,
Arsenal was 84 or so.
So last 10 and then stoppage time again.
So where do you stand? Like, I think we've already answered this, but I wish I'd have said it before, because I was going to ask you, where do you stand on the whole we need to start winning games earlier and better? It's, you can't keep doing this. Or is it the sign of a good team? And we've kind of already answered it by saying, well, if you keep doing it.
For the time being, I'm more than okay with us not playing great, because I do think it's going to take time for everything to click.
Not sustainable, though, is it?
No, it's not sustainable. You can't expect to keep doing that, but it might be more sustainable than you think, for the reasons we've just said. You get to like late on in games, and we're thinking, it's fine, we'll score, and the other team's shitting themselves thinking, oh, these are going to score. So that makes it more sustainable. If you didn't have a history of doing that stuff, then it's not sustainable. But I'm
in danger of wanting perfection, maybe, because I'm wanting some nice 3-4-0 comfortable wins, and then when you need the late winner, you get the late winner. That's being greedy in a way, isn't it?
But it's not being greedy. It might be a bit unrealistic at this moment in time. But that's what they've spent all the money on these players for, is to get to that situation. And,
I do think we'll get to that as well. I think it's just a case of building the relationships on the pitch. And, everyone always goes on about they need to gel. That's basically what it is, isn't it? They've got to get used to each other's patterns and all that
Isak
kind of stuff.
hasn't even kicked the ball yet. So you've still got you're still trying to bed in Vert and Ekitike. And now you're adding Isak into the mix as well. So, and
are you going to boo him?
I'm not going to boo him, but okay. I'm just gonna kind of ignore him and just refer to him as not Darwin. I don't think that's gonna work the way I want it to, though, because I'll be going, not Darwin, and everyone's gonna be like, yeah, fucking right, it's not. It's not really gonna work. I did toy with like Newcastle jabroni, because that's what Jules used to call Wijnaldum for a while, but.
You need to rethink, I think, mate.
Yeah. But the problem there is he's not had a pre-season, so you can't expect him to just immediately come in and hit the ground running. I say that, I don't mean, like, he could well come in and come on for 10 minutes and score. So I'm not meaning that. What I mean is you can't be relying on him to go, okay, we'll start him now. And I think it might be a little while before he's ready for that. So they're going to have to use him sparingly, but that doesn't mean he can't make an impact.
I think he's going to score goals straight away, mate. I don't think there's going to be much of a bedding in.
Well, if he's coming on late in games, that's when we're doing all of our damage anyway. So it might actually work to his advantage if, like, Ekitike's having to run round for 75 minutes to tire the other team out, and then he comes on for 15
Picks
and
the pieces.
Yeah, gets the glory. Like, so it might work to his advantage to not be having to start games straight away. But I mean, you're looking at a few months before everything is running as smoothly as we want it to. I don't think it's going to happen that quickly, just because it's a bit disrupted and you got international breaks. We've just had one, there's another one coming up. None of that helps in terms of getting like the team to gel. But if we're still winning, it doesn't really matter. You know, we've won 4 out of 4 while we're still figuring all of this out. So you can't ask for more than that. And it's also like it's how demoralising it is for the likes of Arsenal, for example. And I'm saying Arsenal because I don't really class anybody else as being a challenger. I just think it's just they're the only ones I'm looking at. But if you get your hopes up, and then the team like you're rooting against, and then like they score and stoppage time, it is hard. You know, like we've been there with back in the day when United were doing it, and then you know with City, and like you think, oh, they're going to drop points here, and then they don't drop points. It's tough to take. It is demoralising. So, I mean, we're 4 games in and we're already top. They're already having to play catch-up. And we haven't even got going yet. So, it is going to be tough for those teams. But like I say, it's only Arsenal for me. I mean, people might mention Chelsea. I just think they're too flawed. I think they're talented but flawed.
The goalkeeper and the centre-halves, it blows my mind they have not changed their goalkeeper. I do not understand it. I'm made up with it. I'm here for it. Yeah, that's what I mean. Flawed. Centre forwards.
Yeah, the good, but the flawed. I don't think
Pedro's all right.
All right. That's my point exactly. You know, Delap's all right as well, but
I know, but they've got other weapons. You know, I think they're going to score a lot of goals. I think it's the other end which is going to cost them. I think the goalie's a clown. I think the centre halves are fucking bang average.
Yeah, and I agree. That's what I mean. I'm not taking them seriously. I'm not taking City particularly seriously either. I'm just, if we finish above Arsenal, we'll win the league.
Yeah, I agree. 100%. Should we do a couple of minutes on Wednesday?
Also, you didn't do your transfer window rating, so do you want to give us that now?
10 out of 10.
Okay. Do you want to elaborate or just...
No,
that's fine. And also, did you want to change any of your predictions?
I probably need to talk about this because I was fuming during the Newcastle game, and I definitely kind of lost me shit and me composure at one point, and was like, right, I've seen enough. We're not winning the league. And I'm holding my hands up saying I said that during that game.
I think I might
a
have
lot of
agreed
that.
with you.
I think you did.
A lot of that was. I think it's possible.
Yeah. No, I'm fronting up to it here because that's, and I'm not backing away from it because I said it. You know what I mean? That's how I felt at the time. Obviously, you've got caveats of like the emotion of a game going on, and I was fuming. I mean, you take away that goal at the end, and that would have been a very different conversation we'd have been having after that game, wouldn't it? I know it's easy to say that, but it's a 100-minute goal that nobody saw coming. We got battered by 10 men.
Yeah.
So you're going to be frustrated, aren't you? I definitely was too hasty and went too early with what I said there because, you know,
it was during the game, and we all see stuff during the game that
I'm just being honest. I'm fronting up to it.
That's why I said I think I agree with you, but
I'm not changing my prediction.
Watching that.
My prediction, you know, when we recorded it, was that we'll win the league. And when you know, cold like today, you're calm and you look at everything. We've got to see a few games from us. We've got to see a few games from our challenges and everything. I'm not changing anything with it. No.
What was your other pick?
I went City second, Arsenal third, Chelsea fourth. I'm not changing it. No, I don't think there's going to be much between City and Arsenal. Honestly, I don't. I think Arsenal are gonna like beat the teams they should beat, but the moment they come up with any sort of adversity, the manager's just gonna fuck them over because he's just overthinks it, and he's too negative. Like it's. I mean, who are they playing next? I'm sure they've got City next, haven't they? I think
so. Yeah.
Next week would not surprise me at all if they got turned over. I think Paul mentions it that like the manager's too emotional, the fan base is too emotional. I think they're too desperate, and I know he scored some goals already. Gyökeres, I did say that he will be a flat track bully and get goals against the weaker teams. In the big games, he'll do fuck all, and we've seen that already.
Yeah.
I don't think he's going to be the difference for what they need. So no, I'm not changing that. I think I went Chelsea 4th. Pretty sure I did, and I'm not changing that either. I went for the 3 promoted teams to go down.
Sunderland
and I'm not certain on that. Not certain on it. I did give them a mention because I said I thought they'd had a good window. They were the one that I said may stay up.
The other two are shite. The other two are
Wolves, though. Wolves,
that's the thing, yeah.
I mean,
I worried about.
I don't know whether they're going to carry on now.
They look like they've got a bit about them. I don't think they'll be that bad. But Wolves, yeah.
But just on
what about West Ham now?
Yeah, well,
they
Potter will go, won't he?
Bad,
I think the moment Potter goes, like, he's a fraud. I'm sorry. Like, I think he's fucking. We spoke about this in the week, didn't we? We used to talk about him a lot positively on here, didn't we? Because Brighton used to just be fucking.
They were really well coached when he was there.
Yeah.
But
he couldn't score goals, and then when he left, Brighton started scoring loads of goals, and then he went to Chelsea and he flopped, and now he's struck. And I just think the whole Brighton story is bigger than the coach who's there at the time, if that makes sense. I think a lot of it's to do with the recruitment and the way the club's run and set up. Yeah. I think that's why they have success more than the actual coach. So, yeah, West Ham, if they change Potter, I think they'll be all right. Do you think Wolves are as bad as the results show, or do you think they'll pick up a bit?
No, I think they're as bad as the results show, to be honest.
I'm not sure.
I don't think they've got enough. Like, I do think Strand Larsen's decent and he'll get goals, but you know, they were flirting with it last year. They didn't stay up by like loads.
No,
last
but they had a really good. Didn't they have a really good run now?
I think that
towards the end.
The only reason why like they've got a chance is I do think the manager's good. I think he knows what he's doing. I just think he's been left with like a poor squad.
Oh, they've messed up the recruitment.
Keep getting rid of the best players, and I don't think that's sustainable to keep doing that. But,
and some clubs can get away with that. So your Brightons, your Brentfords, they seem to have really good recruitment models in place where if you lose your good players, you constantly replace them with good ones. I don't think Wolves are established like that, are they? I think someone's going
to get sucked in at like an established Premier League team this year, and they look the most likely. Like Sunderland might still go down, but the thing with Sunderland, what we've seen already, is they may well win enough home games against the teams in the bottom half of the table to give themselves a real chance.
Yeah, I wouldn't argue. I mean, they've gone and got a point at Palace as well.
They've already got
difficult.
They've got 7 points already. I mean, Southampton got like, I think it was 12 the whole of last season.
Yeah, mad, isn't it? Absolutely.
And
mad.
Unfortunately, I always said, like, you know, just the fucking 3 newly promoted teams. If only one of them could stay up, we could get rid of Everton. But no,
that ship
they're
sailed.
Not even in the conversation. It's just not even worth
getting
hopes up on.
That ship sailed. Just on Brentford, I watched obviously the Chelsea game on the weekend, and fucking Hendo was superb. I couldn't believe it. Could not believe it. I thought his legs are totally. I hope he gets a good reception. You know, I know there's been like things gone on there, which
I think he definitely will.
Great. I think he should.
It might not be a rapturous reception, but I think he'll get a warm reception.
I'd forgotten how long he was here, you know, because I was talking to my missus when we were watching the Brentford game, and she asked, so I had a little. It's fucking 12 years.
Yeah.
Fucking long time now. Like, yeah. I think he should, on balance. I think he should get a good reception. I hope he does. And I'm with you. I'm glad he's doing well.
Yeah. Carvalho as well popped up with a goal.
No.
Do you know that's all he does? He's David Platt. You watch him and he does fuck all, but he scores. He scores goals. And like that's literally all he does. He doesn't do anything else, but he does get goals.
Davy Fairclough.
Super sub. The bionic carrot. Apparently he didn't like that nickname, but yeah, people used to why. The bionic carrot.
Fucking hell. Yeah, should we do Wednesday?
Yeah, go on then. What are you expecting from that?
Team wise, I think we spoke a little bit about it previous, but I'd start Robbo.
Bradley.
Would you? Yes, yeah, I'd start Bradley. What would you do centre half? Would you be tempted with Joey J, or just I'm thinking about Ibu and like
I probably
volume
would.
Of games.
I do think you do have to rotate to some degree. I probably would do. And
he looks more like himself, Ibu, last 2 games. That's
he does.
We didn't talk
no
about,
reflection on him.
Which I like.
leaving him out. It's more to do with like
fitness.
Yeah, just give him a rest, get him ready for the derby. So yeah, plus I think we need to learn from last year as well, where it was great. We won the first 7 games and we were 100% records until we basically rested everyone for the final game. Where did it get us? There's no. You don't need to do that. You don't need to go fucking
we got
balls
unlucky
out.
with the we got unlucky with the fucking draw, didn't
because
we?
you could,
and we played very well.
That's the point.
Yeah, I know.
So
I know.
it makes no difference if you finish
think
first or 8th. Just get in the top 8. That's all you got to do. Doesn't matter 100%. Whereabouts. Just get in the top 8.
Say it doesn't matter where you finish. The thing is, that's what we learnt last year about this format. Also, it's the whole rotation thing, isn't it? Just in general, we do need to rotate more, and you've got to keep players interested.
Yeah.
If they know, it's like last season, and you're only calling upon them when you really need them.
Yeah,
that's a different mentality to having it and being ready for the game.
There's got to be a carrot for them, or a bionic carrot for them.
Yeah. So yeah, Joey G, I'd have him in. I'd have Grav. I mentioned before, but didn't go into detail about it. I want Macker on Wednesday because of the opponent, and I think it's going to be a bit of a game with the old shithousery going on. Macker loves that, doesn't he? Yeah. I'm assuming he'll be all right. I would play him with Grav and Wirtz. I'd hold Dom back for the derby, as well as he's been playing. Just talking about the rotation thing, I'd do that. It's obviously going to be Mo. It'll be Gakpo, won't it? And it'll be Ekitike. And I reckon we'll probably see Isak for half an hour, maybe. Yeah, I'd probably go with that team as well. If I'm honest, I don't really know much about Atletico, how they've started in La Liga. Have you any idea?
No, I know what to expect from them because it's Simeone, but I don't know anything about how they're doing. I know they've got Alvarez up front, haven't they? He's a good player. Don't really know anything else about them, to be honest.
Just having a look now. So the first game they drew 1-0 with Elche. Second game they drew 1-0 with Alaves. Then they beat Villarreal 2-0. That's it. So yeah, not a brilliant start, but yeah, you know what you're getting with them, don't you?
Yeah,
it's not going to be a particularly pretty setup from them. I think they'll be sitting in and spoiling, won't they?
Score prediction.
When did we last play them?
Was it?
It wasn't the COVID thing, was it? We've played them since.
No, I think it was.
Fucking hell.
If
it is, then we fucking owe them one, don't we?
Yeah. I do. I fucking got COVID at that game.
I know. Fucking hell. Prediction 2-1 win for us. I reckon Isak's going to come on and score.
In stoppage time, probably.
Yeah. Anything from 80 to 100 minutes.
Yeah.
That's what I'll say.
I think we might be 1-0 down and score twice in stoppage time. Chiesa and Isak.
Yeah. Love it.
Do you know what? I'm not that arsed. It's the derby for me. I think there's just less jeopardy on the Champions League because if you do have a bad result, you've still got you still think you're probably going to finish in the top 8 anyway.
It's different now, isn't it? It used to be because it was a small group.
Yeah.
It was if you lost, you were like, oh shit, we're playing catch up. Whereas,
and then
you
if
can't
you
get
don't
away
finish
with
in the top 8, then okay, so you're in a playoff. But
you say that though, Dave, about I think the fixtures are difficult.
We have got a
Champions
tough
League
draw, no question. We have got a tough draw.
I couldn't believe it when I saw it.
We should still be in the top 8, but
yeah, you'd think so.
I agree that the fixture list
doesn't seem right to me. They seem sort of iffy with it. I don't get it.
Especially when you look at Spurs and it's they're still playing in the fucking Europa League. We did not get, considering we should have been. Well, I'm sure we were a high seed. I don't feel like there's much reward for that at all.
Yeah, I honestly don't get it.
No.
That seems very strange. It's too much. I don't know. Maybe I'm getting old, but it's all done by computer, isn't it? You know what I mean? There's no way of understanding how it even works. So, is it one of them where it's bullshit baffles brains and people don't even ask questions about it and there's dodgy shit going on? I don't know. There's probably me just being cynical.
Yeah, you're basically standing there singing Champions League corrupt as fuck, aren't you?
Yeah, absolutely.
Prediction, I wouldn't be surprised if it was 1-1, but I hope you're right, and Isak comes on and we nick it. But yeah, for me, I'm more looking towards the derby rather than this game. If we just had like a normal league game at the weekend, I'd probably be focused on Atletico. But because it's Everton at Anfield, that's my priority really. I'm just thinking about that. I'm just looking,
and I think we've played them since fucking COVID. Yeah, 2021. Okay. Group phase, we won 3-2 away and beat them 2-0 at Anfield. I thought we'd played them again. I was certain because I didn't do the COVID one, and I was certain we'd played them at Anfield and beat them comfortably, and we beat them 2-0.
I'm the wrong person to ask. You may as well be asking.
I know. That's why I went straight onto the internet.
Like, it used to be John, but John's as bad as us these days. John's great at remembering stuff from like 80s and 90s, but no, I think Dan's the only one. Terry as well, to be fair. I think they're the only ones with like a working brain when it comes to stuff
Suarez
like that.
played for them. Is that not?
No.
Yeah. They had a red card. Felipe got a red card. Straight red. I remember the referee being a bit mad.
He kicked someone in the head.
Yeah, possibly.
Felipe, I think I remember the red card, but I don't remember us playing against Suarez.
It was the Dutch referee, that Makelly or whatever he's called. Goals from Sadio and Diogo.
Oh.
Legend.
Yeah. I don't remember it at all.
You've just said you remember somebody.
I remember an Atletico player kicked someone in the head, and it might have even been Diogo, actually.
Fucking hell, Ox played. I'm just looking at the team there. Mad. Yeah.
See, I only remember us playing against Suarez for Barcelona. I don't remember playing against him with anyone else. Did he get booed?
No, we played. Kieran Trippier played. Yeah, he must have got booed, mustn't he?
No memory of that.
Hell, what's going on, man?
Terrifying. Like, I can't remember shit. It really is.
No, do you know what? I feel good in the sense that there was something in the back of my mind about us playing.
You feel good that you almost remembered something.
Yes, I nearly remembered it. Yeah, so yeah, I'm in a good place.
Yeah, but you've also got like several years on me as well, though.
Not that many.
Yeah, you just wait. Give it a few years, and you won't even be nearly remembering.
All right, Paul.
All right, we'll call it a night there then, I think. So yeah, we'll be back either the night of the Atletico game or the morning after, depends. But yeah, we'll definitely be back after that one. So until then, thanks for listening, and we'll catch you soon.